Welcome to the Sports Roundtable. I'm Tom Lamont, your host. Another week of high school football is in the books. We're going to review all of the high school games from this past Friday night, take a look at what's coming ahead for our four high schools. Joining us now is the head coach of the New Hanover Wildcats, Earl Smith. And Earl, obviously, you know, when you get ready and prepare for a game with a team that's across town, there's always additional emotions going on. Last year had a very close game with Laney. This year, your team wins 45-6, but I know there was a lot of emotions going into this game, and just your review of the contest against Laney.
Yeah, I knew it was going to be a hard-fought battle between both teams. Both teams played hard. You know, Laney never gave up till the very end, and some hard hitting. And in quite a few situations, emotions, you know, got the best of us, and we've got to continue to work on that. And some penalties that really hurt us at crucial times. We were in the 3rd and 15, 3rd and 20 quite a few times.
Your club now 7-0 on the season, 3-0 in the Mid-Eastern Conference. Let's take a look at some of the highlights from this contest against Laney, a game in which you did have a lot of penalties, but your team prevailed.
Yeah, here Troy McCaskill causes a fumble right off in the very first series, and Nas Brown recovered. The good thing is we won the turnover ratio, not by much. We had 3 turnovers, two interceptions and 1 fumble, but they had a few more than we did, so, you know, glad that came out all right. Right here is a slant route from Blake Walston to Freddie Taylor to give us our first score. Again, you know, offensive line doing a really good job giving him time. Again, here's another connection from Blake, who threw for 399 yards Friday night and almost broke a single season record. Again, look at the good protection. Hits Freddie across the middle. That was 2nd and 15. So again, we were having 7 holding penalties, and you just can't do that. Going into the game, I think we had 5 for the whole year, so a little frustrating. Here's a Laney transfer again. There was a little bit of, you know, testiness here to Cole Tanner on this was I believe almost, you know, like 3rd and 25, and almost get the first down, but we end up getting the first down here. Here's a jet sweep by Wisdom Vaughn. Young man just keeps amazing me. I mean, breaking tackles. You know, real frustrated right now. He's probably, I mean, I've coached 35 years, and if he's not a D1 player, something's wrong. Again, the defense continues to dominate. And it's Nas Brown there for the tackle for loss. He had quite a few Friday night again. I think next one coming up, the same thing. He and Grant and Troy are 3 of the best linebackers I've ever coached, and they just continue to keep getting better. Here he is here.
In the backfield quick.
Yep,
Very
absolutely.
Good pursuit.
One of our turnovers coming up here, Grant Daly makes a strip, and it's covered by Grant himself. So and it's on the sideline. Somehow those guys were able to keep it in bounds. It bounced out right there. One of our other guys, I think it was Chris Taylor, knocked it back in bounds, which was just, you know, good awareness. And Grant fell on, got the ball back. Quite a few defensive highlights. We've reached our goals of holding the team to 1 touchdown or less. Great hit right there at the end by Grant Daly.
So you were able to maintain that good defensive play in this contest throughout, and you know, Laney with an outstanding quarterback in Sid Berry. It's hard to contain sometimes. Looks like you were able to do that.
Yeah, the one they were on the 1 yard line. Went down 99 yards, had a long touchdown pass. Just a great throw by him to his receiver for the TD. Finishing up here, I think Blake connects with Wiz. And again, just great balance. And just having him, you know, that weapon is just unbelievable. And here's our very last score. This is just a real quick hitch route to Cole Tanner, and he takes it 50 yards for the touchdown. And we were able to run the clock out the next time we got the ball. So, you know, again, Blake keeps spreading the wealth, and that just makes us so much more effective.
Let's talk a little bit about this contest in context of the first half. You know, you had, again, the penalties. You were able to, again, have great defense in the first half, maintained the line of scrimmage. You had a 17-0 lead at the half. What was the difference in the second half for the Wildcats finally getting some things going offensively?
Well, I think even our coaching staff, including myself, we're in that emotional state, and I think it elevated, and everybody, you know, we calmed them down at halftime, said, hey, let's settle in, which they did, and you know, they've done that all year, and again, we keep getting put in different situations, and our guys are reacting, and that goes back to our leadership of our seniors.
Next up for the Wildcats are the Trojans from West Brunswick. You actually are going to be at home again at Legion Stadium. What do you expect from West Brunswick?
Well coached. They do a great job last year. You know, they were the one conference loss we had last year, which, you know, made a share with Hoggard. So we hadn't forgotten about that. But they run a multiple offense, the wishbone, wing tee, some spread. Quarterback's very active. So you know, we're going to have to do a real good job on defense, which I think we will, and score at every opportunity.
Coach, your team's getting recognized, obviously 7-0. You've now been ranked the #2 team in 3A. How do you keep the emotions with all that kind of good publicity for the team? You're still got a lot of games going before we get to the postseason. How do you keep them in check?
Well, we have a big meeting. We'll have a meeting. You know, this is being recorded today on Monday, but we'll have a meeting before about, you know, I think Nas had a great statement in the Star News. He said, "Be humble and work hard and improve." And you know, that comes from the words of a senior. So they're listening to us. It's just sometimes they're teenagers, and the publicity and everything gets to their heads a little bit. But we tell them to use it as a confidence builder. Not the difference between confidence and cockiness is huge. So confident, not cocky.
All right, Coach, congratulations on your win against Laney. Good luck against West Brunswick this week. Again, the head coach of the New Hanover Wildcats, Earl Smith. We'll be back with more of the Sports Roundtable right after this. And welcome back to the Sports Roundtable. I'm Tom Lamont, your host. Joining me now is Craig Underwood, the head coach of the Hoggard Vikings. And Coach, you get a victory, 45-7 over West Brunswick. Your team now moves to 7-0, 3-0 in the Mid-Eastern Conference. But your team struggled a little early, put together some points very quickly in the second quarter, which you scored 21 points within a 3-minute and 22-second period.
Yeah, it happened fast.
So your overall thoughts of the game?
Well, I'll tell you, I mean, the offensive start was a little slower in the point total, but overall, just the execution and responding to seeing a lot of different looks that West Brunswick gave us. I give them some credit there in terms of you know, their coaching staff put together a really good defensive game plan that, you know, just took us a few minutes to fill out, and then once we did, our offense executed very effective. Our defense started really strong, played a fairly dominant first half. So. From the D-line to the linebackers and secondary, all great tackling throughout the game. Really proud of those guys. And then our special teams were excellent throughout the night. So it took us a little bit to get going offensively, but once we did, it was a good night.
And sometimes that's the case. You know, as long as the team starts getting going offensively, defensively, again, all year long, the Vikings have been tough, been very stingy on defense. You were, again, great from the defensive side again in this contest. Let's take a look at some of the highlights and see what the Vikings were able to do against the Trojans.
Starting off, sorry, I lost it in the glare there, but we were on the defensive side of the ball, so setting things to a good start. This is Josh Jones to C.J. Pipkin. Great run after the catch. Good route, execution of the throw, and then breaking a couple tackles. C.J. had a good night. This is Cameron Kite, senior linebacker, really had a great night for us. A couple big plays, including that solo tackle there. He's doing a great job. Play action right here, going up top to Anthony Schiavone, who continues to be a big play guy for us, just continues to grow. Again, he's only a junior, so we get him back. Good pass rush, another elusive quarterback. Our conference is pretty good for those. But Cameron Kite coming through and finishing him off there. So again, Cameron had a big night. Over to the offensive side. Again, they played a lot of straight man coverage. This is Trey Hauser. Josh Jones did Trey Hauser. We were able to get them mixed up in their coverage a little bit there for a touchdown. Next possession, C.J. Pipkin Big gain, again, just a tough player, breaking tackles. He'll run into traffic and catch footballs. He's a good weapon for us. And then here's Chris Tootle, 6'4" wide out, going and catching a smash route for a touchdown. So great play there. It's Christian Holler on a Mike linebacker blitz. Will Morton, I'll tell you, he's one that I don't know if he gets enough credit as a specialist for us. Here he is, and we're able to pin him at the 1 yard line. It's Cade Edwards jumping on the football there, a great special teamer. So some big plays there. Daniel Eason coming through with big contact. He's been a leader on the D front. Kenneth Marshall, again, what I love is I'm getting to put a lot of names out there. We don't say the same names over and over. It's offensively and defensively. It's just a lot of guys stepping up and making plays. Here's another one, John Bennett. John Bennett breaking several tackles here and going through for a touchdown. You can see the excitement. Guys love these guys come to work hard every day, and getting to come through with a touchdown is a big play. Daniel Eason again coming through with penetration there. Landon Romano in on it. I believe this is Romano again here, finishing this off. Cade Edwards. So a lot of guys. Defense is really active throughout the game. West Brunswick offensively, they give you a lot of different looks. We prepped a lot for the wing T offense, and they really didn't run much of it. They ran a lot of other things, though, in terms of just being multiple on offense. And I thought our guys just responded by, they got lined up, and they communicated really well throughout the game, and flew around and made tackles. So really set us up for success.
Yeah, let's talk about that defense. Only 4 plays of more than 10 yards for the Trojans in this contest. Defensively, and again, we could see the gang tackling. You were in the backfield, early on a snap. Again, not only that, but you mentioned already the fact that you had so many different players stepping up defensively in this game as well. So overall, your defensive performance, you had to be pleased.
Oh, completely. We had, guys from the names you hear every week of Christian Holler and Reese Moulton and Isaiah Kemp making plays to, Tayshawn James at corner made a couple really physical plays. Really proud of him. Nathan Frizzell came in and made some big hits for us. So those guys just, they continue. We preach, you got to get better every week. You can never stay the same, and on both sides of the ball, I think our guys have responded well to that.
Offensively, again, you talked about, struggling a little bit early. Josh Jones was 0 for 6 out of the gate, but then really got hot. And it's just incredible how many targets he's got.
Yeah.
You've got some receivers on this team.
I'll tell you what, we've got some great ball skills right now in terms of guys that can adjust to the ball in the air, they can catch the ball in traffic, they can do those things. So again, those wideouts, and Trey Hauser, kind of the senior leader, but then C.J. Pipkin, Anthony Schiavone, Chris Tootle. That's 4 wide receivers that can really go get it, and Austin Edwards at tight end, and in our backfield, just continue to give weapons. But I got to give credit to the offensive line. None of it happens without Mason McKeithen and those guys on that offensive line that just anchor it down for us.
Up next, homecoming.
Yeah.
Back home, you're going to be taking on crosstown rival Ashley, coming off a big win for them against North Brunswick. Your outlook for this contest?
Well, I'll tell you, there's county rivalries. It's always there is multiple elements to the game. There's the X's and O's and all that, but the emotions that go into the preparation. But then that Friday night. Which team can show up, stay disciplined, and make the plays. So they'll be tough, but we look forward to playing at home.
Coach, you're 7-0, 3-0, getting some attention across the state. The Hoggard Vikings now tied at number 6 in the latest 4A state ratings and rankings. I talked to Coach Smith about this as well. How do you keep the players in check? Obviously, you got a crosstown rival game, plus you're getting some nice PR across the state. How do you keep it in check?
Well, anytime, and it's homecoming as well, so there's just a lot of things going on this week. I think just the repeated message of, you've got to continue to get better at the fundamentals, the details of the game, and as long as we can keep doing that, I think this team's going to stay on track. We've got some great leadership from our seniors.
Coach, congratulations on your win against West Brunswick, 45-7. Good luck against the Ashley Screaming Eagles this week.
I appreciate it.
All right, the head coach of the Hoggard Vikings, Craig Underwood, here on the Sports Roundtable. We'll be back with more right after this. are watching the Sports Roundtable. I'm Tom Lamont, your host. We continue our discussion about high school football from this past week. And Jeff Turner, the head coach of the Screaming Eagles of Ashley High School, joins us now. Coach, congratulations, 41-0 over North Brunswick. A big offensive night for the Eagles. Finally, you get that offense going. Defense plays well again. You get the shutout. Your team now moves to 3-4 overall, 1-2 in the conference. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it was just great to be home. The last time we were home was late August, and you know, we've been on the road for the whole month of September, and we're home now, and it felt good to be home, losing a couple real tough ones, one by 3 points, one by 7. But it was just great to see everyone sort of click, and the most inspirational part of it is that the kids fought through a lot of tough things and adversity, and to see them rebound and come out, that they weren't going to be held back, and they weren't going to be, you know, pulled apart by what's happened in the past. They pulled together and just came out and played great on all 3 phases. So we enjoyed it, and we liked to be home with the home crowd. It was a great crowd. We had the stands filled. So the community was great to support us.
No doubt about it. No place like home.
Yeah.
Great job for the Screaming Eagles. Let's take a look now at the highlights for the Eagles in this contest against North Brunswick.
Yeah, defense continued to play really good. They just kept at it. We had a turnover early, and here's Zach Williams sort of coming on a little counter reverse and bringing it in the end zone. Good for him. Special teams did a great job. And I'll tell you, the kid right here, Aaron Lease is our kicker. He's done a great job. The soccer player last year, defense again, playing tough. Throwing up grabs here, playing good defense, and Connor Lewis gets a pick on that. And he does a great job. Offensively, Freddie Thames had over 200 yards. He was player of the week. I think he had about over 250 in the game. And he just was such a strong runner. He's a great kid. He's worked extremely hard. He runs very hard. He deserves every part. Once he gets a burst, he's tough to bring down. So it's great to see him. Great to see the offensive line sort of clicking. Another thing for Zach Williams coming around the same side, and you know, almost making it in the end zone. I think he just stepped out at the 3 or 4 yard line. And Freddie obviously just powering and bringing it in the end zone. Good kick by Aaron Lease. Done a great job. Had a couple other field goals also from, I think, 35 or 30 yard line. And here's Freddie again. That's that burst, pushes, you know, looking for daylight. But very happy really for our kids, because they've worked extremely hard. And you know, the pass was tough, and I don't care who was on the field. It's just good for them to reap some benefits of their hard work, which only makes sense. So another one, Aaron Lease, good job on his kicking. And again, Freddie Thames.
Nice hole there.
Yeah, hard runner. Great to see a lot of offenses. Freddie just sort of out running to the corner. But just the whole thing for these kids was great. We never knew going in how we were gonna. You know, we felt pretty good, but Freddie just has a burst here and just sort of outruns everybody. We weren't sure how it was going to happen sometimes, but it's been tough those last couple of games, considering how hard we worked. I've been enough places to know how hard we have worked, but like life, it doesn't always work out like that. So
Good defensive
hard
play
versus,
there.
yeah.
Coach, your defense.
Another field goal right there.
Nice field goal there. Good distance.
Yeah.
Again, your defense has only given up 10 points in the last 3 games, so you got to be pleased with their overall play. Good gang tackling there.
Yeah. No, they've done a great job. They've really started to enjoy playing together, and you know, doing a great job all across. Here's Cade Jones running back a punt for a touchdown. Sort of runs it back there and does a great job outrunning this last guy in the end zone. No, it was nice. We sort of hit on all 3 phases. But yeah, defensively we're playing well. We need to continue it, because we're going to really be tested next week and the week after. And so, you know, we just got to keep doing our job. no shortage of highlights this time. So,
Absolutely, good
yeah.
to see. 41-0, the Eagles over North Brunswick, a big win. And offensively, you got things going finally. You got to be pleased about that offensive line doing the job, opening up those nice holes for Freddie Thames and the other running backs. Gave you some room to do a lot of things offensively.
Yeah, I mean, the offensive line works hard. And going into this game, I think they had a little meeting themselves, and I think they picked it up. And you know, they're definitely going to be tested, so we have to continue because competition doesn't get easier. Obviously, going to Hanover and Hoggard, and then Topsail and Laney. So they just got to continue to get better and play with confidence.
Coming up, of course, it doesn't get any easier in the Mid-Eastern Conference. You go on the road over to Hoggard. You're still in town. It's not a long bus ride this time, but you play the Hoggard Vikings, crosstown rival battle. That's going to be a real challenge for your team, but your team now comes in with some confidence. Yeah,
I mean, it's we're going to enjoy it. We're really looking forward to it. There's really no pressure on us, and you know, we're going to have a good time, and looking forward to going over to Hoggard and getting on the field. And you know, they've been playing very well, but our kids are going to come out and have a good time.
All right, Coach. Congratulations on your win against North Brunswick. Again, the Ashley Screaming Eagles winning 41-0 against North Brunswick. Jeff Turner, the head coach, thanks again for coming in with us. We'll be back with more of the Sports Roundtable. And welcome back one more time to the Sports Roundtable. This edition, we're talking high school football. Now joining us is Ashad Yeoman, the head coach of the Buccaneers, Laney High School. And Coach, no doubt about it, he had a tough battle against New Hanover, 45-6. The Bucks come up on the losing end. But your kids never gave up. You stayed tough, especially in the first half. You kept it to a 17-0 lead at the half. Your kids were in it. Penalties really a big factor for you in this one, and turnovers.
Absolutely, and going back to what you said about the kids fighting, that's one of the things that, as a coach, I'm absolutely proud of. You know, it's so easy just to give up and quit, and you know, the outcome will be determined based on, you know, how you play. And they gave us a chance to come back and give ourselves an opportunity to play ball, but it didn't work out in the end. But I am really proud of our kids and the way they fought. But yeah, you're right. You can't win games with penalties. We turned the ball over way too many times and didn't get enough first downs on offense, and that's on me. It's my job to get those guys ready, and I'm working to get better.
All right, Coach, let's take a look at the highlights from this contest for the Buccaneers.
Yes, sir. So we ended up turning the ball over early in our own area, and you know, they ended up scoring, but the fight that the kids gave again, like I said, to try to keep them out was spectacular. And then there's Kenwan Watkins on the ensuing kickoff, you know, just giving a great effort, man, getting us some great field position for our offense. Again, we didn't come up with anything, but at the end of the day, it's my job to get those guys ready and get them prepared to play ball. That's Jason Billingsley on a nice little jet sweep there. Another kickoff return, set up. Those guys were running around our wall a little bit, and that's Micah Hairston, one of our faster players. Sorry about the film. We had a younger guy doing it, but Micah Hairston's been coming on lately. He's kind of coming into his own. He's taken a year off, but you know, coming back this coming season, you know, he's starting to find himself a little bit. And that's Thomas Brasher. Again, one of my senior linebackers, one of the guys who had it coming back, having experience. He had a great game, man. I'm proud of the effort that he had. He led those kids all night long, and they fought for him, and I'm proud of the effort that he gave along with all those other guys. And then there's Sid Berry. We were backed up in our own end, you know, having a nice, physical, tough run. As you can see, we're down 14-0, and as you can see, our guys are still fighting to get out of there. They ended up with a field goal there, but again, just for our guys, you know, keeping them out of the end zone was huge in that particular area. And again, as you can see, we're swarming to the football. The guys are still fighting. They're still playing hard. We had and then this one right here is 4th down in like inches. And again, our guys come with a stop. You can see the scoreboard is 24-0. Could have easily just kind of, you know, hung the hat, let them into the end zone, but didn't do it. And then there's Jason Billingsley with a huge run. Again, right after we come up with that 4th down stop, you know, we're trying to get some points on the board. We go sprint course here. Sherrod opens up and throws it to Micah Hairston. Again, he's starting to come into his own, and I'm proud of the effort that he gave all night long. And then we end up, you know, scoring and punching it in to make it 24-6. We ended up botching the the snap on the PAT field goal. But again, I'm proud of the effort that the guys had. And, you know, that's what it takes, you know, resiliency. So.
Coach, let's talk about your defense. Again, you know, outstanding job there in the first half. You really got off to a great start. So defensively, your game plan, you know, New Hanover struggled early. They were 0 for 6 in throwing, although their quarterback, Josh Jones, had a great, excuse me, that's the Hoggart coach, the Hoggart quarterback, but the quarterback for the Wildcats had a great night in the overalls, but he struggled early, 0 for 6. So you were able to contain him and do some things defensively to kind of frustrate the Wildcats early.
Well, we did do some things correctly, but you look at the film, we made a lot of mistakes, and he did a great job of coming back and taking advantage of some of those things. And again, I've got to do a better job making sure that these kids understand the game plan through and giving maximum effort throughout the game. But again, that's a testament to the job they've done with their film study and, you know, attacking what we do, and this is a great job overall.
Again, your special teams did a good job, especially on those kickoff returns. You had some nice plays, some nice holes that were opened up for you.
Yes, sir.
Again, Sherrod Sidbury does a good job for you getting the one score for the Buccaneers on that quarterback sneak. Again, Laney not giving up at all in this contest.
Absolutely.
But again, you know, you had an opportunity in the first half, keeping it close.
Yes, sir.
Did they kind of wear you down by the fourth quarter?
They did. We had way too many snaps on defense. Their third down conversion in that second half was a lot greater than it was in the first half. And again, I just got to do a better job of working with the offense and making sure that they keep us off the field for a little bit, so get us rested.
Saw where you had some injuries in the contest, but some of the kids bounced back. Everybody okay going into this week?
Yeah, it was mostly cramps, you know what I mean? You know, wearing tights in 80-degree weather doesn't kind of mix real well together, so we got to make sure we're hydrated. And but yeah, no major injuries out of it, just a bunch of cramping.
Of course, the Buccaneers now go on the road. You'll be playing up at Topsail. Your club's now 3-4 overall, 1-2 in the conference. What does Topsail bring to the table that you'll be preparing for?
Physical game plan. Those guys get after you on the offensive side of the ball. Defensively, they don't make many mistakes. They tackle well. So we just got to make sure that, again, we take care of business and make sure we hold on to the football, reduce these penalties, and again, keep the offense on the field, the defense off of it, and make sure we show up to special teams.
All right, Coach. Again, tough loss to the New Hanover Wildcats, 45-6. Good luck with your game at Topsail this week.
Thank you, sir.
All right, the head coach of the Laney Buccaneers, Ashad Yeoman, with us as the Buccaneers will travel up to Topsail this week. We remind folks to please come out and support New Hanover County football, high school football. Of course, we got some great games locally this week with the New Hanover Wildcats playing at home against West Brunswick. So Wildcat fans, please go out and support your Wildcats. Hoggart Vikings and the Ashley Gold Screaming Eagles will be going up against each other in a crosstown rival battle at Hoggart. So we'd like to see a bunch of fans come out for the Screaming Eagles as well as the Hoggart Vikings for that one. And of course, if you're a Laney Buccaneer fan, travel up the road to Topsail. It's not too far. Should be a battle between the Buccaneers and Topsail on Friday night. For the Sports Roundtable, I'm Tom Lamont.